People might suggest it's hard to believe that Meghan Markle could have got this so wrong, but she did. And then it got worse, of course, because the bosses who decided to employ her for millions of dollars decided to basically say that she wasn't an audio talent. And in fact, the idea of a podcast really shouldn't be up to her. Now, it's gone radio silence, hasn't it? Because as you know, Meghan and Harry were basically saying they were going to take their podcast and pod off somewhere else. And apparently we could look forward to more from Meghan, who had so much to say. Her guests, of course, included diverse topics as Paris Hilton, Mariah Carey, Serena Williams, and a bunch of non-entities that nobody truly can remember. They were the major players. Then Meghan, of course, got blasted, apparently because she didn't always sit on the interviews. Apparently that was down to lowly producers to deal with that. But now, once again, after the success of Sarah, Duchess of York's royal tea with Sarah, well, now another royal is having a go into the podcasting world. And we've only a matter of weeks for it to debut. Let me explain. Hi, good morning. How are you? Nice to see you today. And as ever, thank you so much for joining me. You may have seen this particular story in the media, which I think is a terrific idea. Of course, it's Her Majesty the Queen, Queen Camilla, and she's launching a podcast about her reading room. Now, this really took off, let me tell you, all during the pandemic. Now, if you don't know this, Her Majesty the Queen is a very avid reader, saying that she has 7 books on the boil at one given time. In fact, she has books in every room, and she reads on the way and from engagement. She said it helps calm her down and helps her focus, of course, on the things that she's doing literally on the day. Reading, I'm sure you'll agree, is one of the great luxuries of life. If you're able to, if you aren't, audio books are definitely the way. You know, I like the fact that so many audio books are free on YouTube. I don't know if you found some of those, but listening to like Sherlock Holmes or stuff like that via audio or for free on YouTube is wonderful, far better than the telly, because it's all in your own imagination, isn't it? Now, Queen Camilla is going to have some cracking guests, including the likes of Dame Joanna Lumley and other notable authors. She started her Reading Room Club and, of course, her awards for a couple of years now, and it's really taken off. It's an incentive that is really, really welcomed by our government and, of course, early schools, because they want to get people back into reading books. It doesn't matter whether it's on one of those digital platforms, Kindle, or indeed the old-fashioned way where you turn pages. Which do you like, by the way? Are you a book or a digital? And I'm not being rude, you know what I mean? Yes, I prefer a book, but I have to say I prefer a softback book. Yes, the hardback. I told you recently, didn't I? Barbara Streisand's book. Wow, it's like a lead weight. You'd have to sit at a table, like being at school again. Who wants that? But on back to the Queen. This looks set to be a great success, let me tell you. Already subscribers are rated up very well. Obviously, there's going to be critics and people will be, piffling away. What we can tell you, though, is that this, I believe, is a bit of an embarrassment. Whatever people say, and this is not an attack, but it's just a simple fact. Fergie's podcast has been very successful, consistently retaining their audience and for a long duration. Her Majesty the Queen, I think, will do incredibly well too, because simply, it's the guests. She's going to get some great guests. Who wouldn't want to sit opposite Queen Camilla and talk about your book? It's a great idea, isn't it? It's non-profit making, and whatever happens to the sales, they're going to be donating certain elements of it to her charities. I think it's a wonderful incentive, a great start to the new year, and I'd love to know what you think. But rather pithily, I have to say, if you were Meghan Markle, truly, she could have had all of this with great success. She thought she could go it alone, and truly, look what happened. I don't see Her Majesty the Queen, Queen Camilla, being told that she's no great audible talent. Something that really rankled, according to a very well-placed source, Meghan Markle. Look out for it from January the 8th, and we'll let you know how it develops. Still Sean in the very heart of London.